live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn.
Buckaroo. So actually, I was going to read this instead of reading the description on IMDb, which is really stupid.
Adventurous brain surgeon, rock musician, Buckaroo Bonzai, crime fighting from the team, blah, 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 blah.
This is better. This is what they rolled at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then I was actually reading a little bit about it, found out that they were actually going to do a prologue, but they were trying to cram too much into the
beginning of it?
So they decided to scroll it across the screen.
Okay. Well, go ahead and read it. Hit it.
Buckaroo Bonzai, born to an American mother and Japanese father, thus began life as he was destined to live it, going in several directions at once. A brilliant neurosurgeon, this restless man grew quickly dissatisfied with life devoted solely to medicine. He roamed the planets studying material. He roamed the planet.
Roam the planet, yeah.
Studying martial arts
Mm-hmm.
and particle physics.
And as the leader of a rock band.
Well, I'm not there yet.
Oh, sorry.
Collecting around him a most eccentric group of friends.
Jeff Goldblum.
Those hard-rocking scientists.
Those guys.
The Hong Kong Cavaliers.
The Hong Kong Cavaliers.
And now with his astonishing jet car ready for a bold assault on the dimension barrier, Buckaroo Bonzai faces the greatest challenge of his turbulent life.
That's right.
While high above Earth, an alien spacecraft keeps a nervous watch on Team Banzai's every move.
That's right, because they're the threat. You got it. Yeah.
The aliens. The aliens was a really amazing. John Lithgow was a character that was in this. He was a doctor.
Man.
He actually was an alien. He was a doctor.
Yeah, he was a doctor.
Dr. Lizardo.
Lizardo, right.
And then you had Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Lloyd, Ellen Barkin. This is an amazing cast.
It is an amazing cast. And they spent, it was a very low budget thing, but the thing is it was also a passion project for a lot of people.
I only saw this once, and it was about 1995 probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I've seen this so many times.
It reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, it does.
I kind of wish this was that length.
Yeah, yeah.
This was too short, I thought.
Oh, it is too short. I mean, it's definitely too short. And the thing is it promises a sequel.
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah, at the very end,
Yeah.
and it doesn't deliver it.
I know.
And you know, and the thing
amazing.
is people have been calling for the sequel for this for how many years? I mean, you know, since the early '80s. Yeah, this is a film that has working in it a lot of the special effects people and art department people and production people that I worked with. I mean, you know, I got there just about the time that this film was being made, and it was just on everybody's. It was the zeitgeist of the town at the time that, and the thing is that they were doing.
This was 85?
Yeah.
84?
84. I think it was 84. Yeah, that they were doing this, and they were doing it on the cheap, and they had this great look to it. You know,
well, that was the charm of it.
It was
just like our logo. It was
right.
very cheap. But
right,
very delicately slapped together.
Right. I mean, one of my favorite things in this is when they put on their safety glasses, which are literally made out of bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap, yeah. That part was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, just I mean, everything in this film it has such a kind of slapdash.
You could tell they were looking at. I mean, when they were wearing the bubble masks, you could tell at certain points are like. Why am I wearing this?
Yeah, why am I wearing? Yeah, exactly. You know what is up with this? Yeah, and you know all the junk around and
the pickup with the one thing that really cracked me up, a Ford F-350, which I have one in my driveway.
Right, exactly.
With a rocket attached to it, and it was actually a World War II rocket, I believe.
Really? That they attached to it?
Yeah. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, that was. I particularly loved the sequence of John Lithgow trying to break through the
Where he gets stuck.
when he gets stuck in it.
Yeah.
And that thing that he's driving, which is like a modified tricycle or something. God, it was hilarious. And the look of everything, with the funky ham radio equipment, and it was.
And there was
amazing.
an actor in there that's in Breaking Bad, Jonathan Banks.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Banks.
And
of course.
I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. It was driving me crazy. And then I realized, he has the same voice as that guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, right. Son
and he
of a
acted
gun.
the same. But it's interesting that it was so many years before.
Think of the people that it's got in it. It's got Jeff Goldblum doing an early version of Jeff Goldblum.
Very early.
Yeah. But the
and
great
then you had
thing
Christopher
about
Lloyd, who was being himself, basically.
yeah.
But with so much makeup, you couldn't tell it was him half the time.
Well, the great thing about it was that everybody was just kind of playing it just so loose.
Yeah.
I mean...
the main character was perfect, too. The main
Peter
actor.
Weller?
Peter Weller.
Peter
was
Weller
awesome.
was... Just,
who was later RoboCop, right?
right.
Yeah.
This is RoboCop, and this is RoboCop before he was RoboCop. Yeah, it was an amazing film. Ellen Barkin, who was beautiful and just nuts in it.
This is why she was still hot. Not that she isn't hot now, but
Yeah, but I mean, just everybody in it was just the craziest group of people. Who was the black creature? Carl Lumley
played John Parker. Yeah,
exactly. And I wound up working later on with Carl Lumley. It was a great film. Classic spaceship. The spaceship was probably so much better than 99% of the spaceships that have come out since.
Actually, I really like the spaceship.
I mean,
when it was coming in.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a
bunch of tentacles.
Yeah, it kind of looked like they put they mechanized a seed pod. One thing
I noticed is I thought the plot was really hard to follow. But it's like I don't really care.
It's impossible to follow.
Care.
No, it's because it doesn't make any sense.
For a while, I was trying to follow it.
It doesn't make any sense.
And I just got fed up. I'm like, I'll just watch it.
Yeah, there's a scene where Peter Weller is Elaine Barkin is crying in the audience. In the audience as the band is playing.
Yeah.
That's don't be mean. Don't be mean.
No matter where you go.
No matter where you go, there you are. That's been my motto ever since.
Well, I have to say that Buckaroo Bonzai reminds me of Kurt Thomas because he's a Renaissance man. He's very good at all these different things, and And then I like the fact I grew up in Laramie, Wyoming.
Oh,
so they mentioned Laramie, Wyoming.
Right. Yeah.
But the guy with the big head. I don't know why I wrote that down. I wrote down the guy with the big head.
Guy with the big head.
I'm not sure why that was a big deal.
I think the one thing that you have to...
Oh, the guy with the big head.
Yeah.
He's the guy that was had the googly eyes.
Right.
He didn't need the makeup. What's his name?
Vincent Schiavelli.
Yeah, it was Vincent Schiavelli.
Schiavelli, that's the guy with
the guy I was thinking of.
The buggy eyes, yeah.
But he didn't need the makeup.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He looked like a creature.
But he was in a lot of stuff I liked later on.
Yeah, but I love the names of some of these people. Reno, Nevada. Perfect Tommy. John Parker. Carl Lumley was John Parker.
Was it
John Parker?
I kept hearing the Connor, and I kept thinking of Terminator for some reason. But it wasn't John. Was it John O'Connor?
I just remember like everybody talking about this film, being made in town, and how they were. See, at that time, we were bit by bit by bit. The non-union groups were bit by bit by bit stepping into the area of all these old studio guys and starting to replace them. And this is a perfect example of that. These guys were doing a non-union film that had real people in it.
Real actors, right?
It had real actors in it. And it was kind of one of the first of that nature of thing. And it was like really, really exciting. Everybody was talking about it and everybody was saying, well,
one thing that's great is it's an ensemble cast and it's a good one.
Right.
It's
a good
movie.
ensemble.
Because usually they're terrible.
It's a good one. And the thing is it has that low budget feel to it. but it has like this great acting in it, and it's absolutely amazing. You have to.
I think everybody should watch this if they're into sci-fi for sure.
Oh yeah,
or just if they're into fun movies.
To see, one of the first movies that Jeff Goldblum was in, and
you hear his voice and you're like,
yeah, and
you automatically think of The Fly.
Yeah,
basically, that's what I first thought of. I'm like The Fly.
Yeah, but the whole
cast was great, and just the way the plot didn't need to be good, and the storyline didn't need to be good.
No, not necessarily.
It was just fun.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you see this wave of people that was making this film became, this is one of the people in the background became the main, people. The effects were amazing in it, for the time.
I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, like there was no more rotoscoping or anything, and a lot of these guys were taking stuff from Star Wars, because Star Wars was the first film that kind of went this new non-Hollywood direction with everything. And then this group here was a lot of those leftovers that were still hanging around and we're starting to change and they're starting to change everything. And a lot of them were mixing union and non-union crews. And that was what was really cool about it. There was a lot of toleration in the 80s of union and non-union crews working together.
Really?
That did not... it did not make it through the 90s.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because that creativity completely changed the business. It really did.
Well, yeah. Well, same thing for like the horror movies, and I think that's why Nightmare on Elm Street was so influential when that came out.
That's exactly it. I mean, this is the whole thing. Is it was a new wave that was taking over Hollywood, and it was taking over.
Is that because the ones from the 50s, people that were working in the film industry in the 50s were starting to age out?
Right, they were aging out.
People like you, the young kids, were coming in.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is as when I was hitting my late 50s, and I kept thinking that all these damn kids are replacing us with all this digital equipment and all these little tiny cameras and all the rest of this, and I never felt bad about it for one moment, because I had to say to myself, this is exactly what I did in the 80s. Because we were looking at all these old farts, who would be classified as 100% studio burnouts, And the thing is you spend enough time in Hollywood, and believe me, you get angry and burn out. You do.
Especially if you're in production, probably, right?
Yeah, production, but I was...
Do you think people have a longer life? I mean, if they're directors and producers, it seems like it.
But they don't. I mean, look at all the people that are idle now, because the technology and everything else moves on, Look at
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
George Lucas is sitting around eating bonbons right now, listening to our podcast.
Well, I'm going to give you a classic example. How about David Lynch?
Yes. Both of them should follow us, just like everybody else.
Yeah,
everybody else should follow us.
Because then you'd have something to do as you were eating your bonbons.
Right. Come on, David. No, actually, I really like David Lynch. In fact, there's some of those movies I think we should add to our...
Yeah, I agree,
list,
but I'm saying what I'm saying is
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's crazy. An awful lot of these people just aren't working.
Even
right
if you
now.
go back 10 years ago, some of the ones that were big aren't really working now.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's a film. The film business eats its young.
Yeah, and then even actors like. I was actually disappointed because I like this one actor that was in this movie,
right?
Lewis Smith.
Oh yeah,
because I remember him from
really cool.
Heavenly Kid.
Right.
That was one of the movies I liked in the 80s. It was really stupid.
Yeah.
But I liked that movie. But I was looking at his filmography, and
he aged
really,
out.
He didn't do a ton of stuff. I mean, that was really big. I mean, he did movies, TV, miniseries and stuff.
Yeah.
No, but he didn't really have anything that was really big.
But
after that, Heavenly Kid was it, basically. And then he went to TV.
Well, everybody ages out,
But with that said, he's still working. So
well, there you go.
Gotta give him credit. He's working in shorts and stuff.
Movies that were recalled and destroyed. There you go. But anyway,
the best line. Well, second best line.
Second best line. The best line.
Mr. Banzai, you forgot your thruster. And what did he say? Why don't you hold on to it
Why
for
don't
a
you
while?
hold on? There were a lot of good.
The whole thruster thing was, it was ridiculous.
exactly.
But anyway, there was a lot of crazy stuff.
There was. You just have to see it. And the thing is
But don't try to follow the plot. Just watch it.
just let it wash over you. Let it wash over you. It's incredibly silly. It's incredibly well acted. It's loose. It's free. It's got the weirdest.
And the sets were pretty. I thought the sets were cool.
The sets were really cool, and they were really kind of junky, but they were really cool.
There was one set that looked like it had been used a lot, like they were inside a building. It almost looked like that police station that you used in The Hidden.
Probably was, yeah.
Probably was.
Probably was. I mean, the thing is, they're always about maybe. In town at any given time back then, there were maybe 15 stages that were completely built out for like prisons. I mean, there was the disease of the week, movie of the week stages, which were standard. There was a couple of bedrooms. There was a generic office. There was a police station and a jail. And that was kind of your standard
right.
layout.
Well, back then, there were a lot of cop shows and
right, exactly, and all that. So you had those all over town. I mean, that you could go to a jail almost anywhere, or you could actually go to a jail. Lincoln Heights had the cheap jail that was an actual jail, which I've spent time in that jail in the weirdest ways,
but not actually spending time there.
Without actually spending. Well. I do remember one time. The outside of the building had this very generic look to it, and so it was always used as the generic building. Generic public government building, right? And I remember one time we had worked out as a police station. And you have the police walking in and out, which is really great. Because right across the street is a police station. I mean, literally right across the street. In order to film it being a police station, you have to film it from the police station. So one day, this director goes, "Hey, Mick, we got a problem here. You got the great signage and everything, and we put up a stone sign in front and everything." He says, "But you didn't bring the shield." See, the shield. He said, "Yeah, he says like the state of shield."
Right.
I was like, shit. When are you filming? Oh, we're filming in like 10 minutes. Go, well, thanks for the warning. But so my art director turns to me and he goes, "I'll race you for it." And we both split out. I went directly to the caterer and I got a chicken and a sprig of like some kind of like oregano or something. It's just a sprig of something,
right.
And a pizza pan.
Yeah.
And I screwed the chicken into the pizza pan right in the center with the sprig up the side, and then just put a bunch of just letters in little blocks of wood and shit around in the corner, and spray painted gold. Ran up the ladder. Screwed it right into the front.
Oh wow!
And Brad comes running around the corner, and he's got all these materials stuff. And he looks at it and goes, "Well, shit! Well, that's no fair. That's a chicken." And the director's across the street over at the police station, going, "It looks great."
That's awesome.
That's what I'm talking about. And so it was a chicken in the middle of it.
But it was painted gold.
Yeah. So,
It wasn't really a chicken anymore. It was art.
It was pretty hilarious.
So was the caterer down with this? Or
I think you were probably chicken short. I would imagine. Yeah.
What'd you think of the makeup? I thought it kind of took away a little bit from their facial expressions, because we're talking about amazing actors like Christopher Lloyd.
Right,
and you can see him really.
Yeah. Well,
I thought it was a little too much. Maybe they could have scaled it back a little bit. I don't know.
No, they didn't scale anything back. That was the thing. Is
there were a couple shots that almost like it was plaster of Paris. Like he was having trouble talking.
Well, the whole thing was like that. I mean, there were actually examples. If you saw it in the theater, you actually saw like edges of lips tearing off and stuff like that, because it was just it was just put a bunch of stuff on. You know, it was.
And I like the ending where they're walking down the canal.
Yeah,
And they're just like kind of dancing.
Classic place right there. That's the wonderful, the overshot L.A. River.
Right. Yeah,
that's
not a canal. It's a river, right?
It's a river. Yeah, it is a river. Right.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, you bet. Boy, I got to tell you something. I have spent some time running up and down that river in cars. I have been filming in 3 places in that river at one time. You know, and I'm not 100% sure that the third place was actually this film that I was working on in the other 2 on. You know, and so he's just rolling down the river, and you get up on that side, and
there's a lot of movie shots there.
Ton of stuff is filmed in that river. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of car chases.
Well, you know, I mean, it's part of the standards. It's the Park Plaza Hotel is the interior hotel that everybody sees.
Right. Yeah.
There is the there's the 4th and 1st Street Bridge, which is always the encampment. You know, the homeless encampment is always down there. There's the Veterans Hospital. The Veterans. Let's see. The Veterans Hospital, which you see all the time as corridors in the really big old 30s building, right? But then across the street from that is the Westwood VA. It's like our version, the LA version of Arlington Cemetery. Right. And then you had the Pasadena power plant that had that, the scaffolding and the big pipes and that look there. You had 6th Street, 5th and Spring, which had the New York, the New York style scummy alleys and stuff like that. You had Broadway, which Broadway in Maine, which had more of a really, really busy looking street. You know, kind of maybe Minneapolis kind of look. You know, just busy street and stuff like that. You had the L.A. River. All these great places that you've seen so many times. Of course, we had the beaches, and we had, Venice had its the pier that's got the carnival on it all the time. I mean, yeah, it
seems like it'd be hard to do that because the beaches are pretty crowded there, aren't they?
No, well, yeah, they are, but the thing is
I think I remember going to Newport Beach one time, and it was just so packed.
But it's still. It's if you want one that isn't packed, then you go down to the one that's at the very tail end of the airport in El Segundo.
Oh,
and that's got that kind of like just long sandy area that nobody's had, because the pounding sound of the airplanes coming over. I mean, literally, the airplanes just right over it. But you have all these looks that are commonly used to they put together the Huntington Library, which has the Arboretum, which Gilligan's Island filmed the boat wreck there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that had that kind of the Arboretum just had all these jungle looks to it and stuff, and it's funny you got to know that town, not that town, that area so well, and you're just driving from one to the other all the time. It was hilarious. I mean,
multiple times too.
Multiple times. I mean, it's like every day you'd be in a different place, and
so New Zealand must have been nice to get a break from that.
Yeah. Well, New Zealand, we went out and we built everything, and we had this like kind of there was the black beaches on one side, and you're in Auckland, and it's only like maybe. Right. 7 miles wide right there. The whole country right there is 7 miles wide, and you have you have a black beach on one side, and then you have a white beach on the other. The black beach is like a jungle right down to the edge of the black the black beach, and it has these black sand dunes that are just amazing looking, and then you have the city look of Auckland on the other side, and I have to tell you, I didn't feel claustrophobic or like I had island fever until I've been there for about 6 months, and somebody showed me this place. This place on this highway that sits right in between the bay on one side and the black beach on the other, and you can see both of them. Right? It's a big mountain peak right there, and and you look and you look one way, and there's the black beaches, and then you turn around and there's the other, and you just see the whole thing, and all of a sudden it just dawns on you that you're
in the middle of
but you're in an island. Yeah, you're just out in the middle. You're actually just in the middle of an ocean.
Right. Yeah.
That this was an accident. This is and from then on I was just absolutely restless and freaked out, and I just hardly could get over it, to tell you the truth.
Well, some of those countries are pretty small on the other side of the world.
Well, and the weird thing
we're used
about
to this huge, wide United States.
The thing about New Zealand is New Zealand is like a jungle country. It's got all these different climates. It's got 90-mile beach up at the top, and it goes all the way. It's actually longer than our West Coast. It goes all the way down to the tip of the South Island, which is very much like the Arctic. From one end to the other.
It's crazy.
It's got all these completely different looks and everything, and yet it's just not wide enough. It just makes you kind of you get island fever.
I saw this amazing documentary. I used to do a lot of kayaking.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you see one of my dusty kayaks over here
right.
in our dungeon.
That's right.
It's in the corner over there. But anyway, no, I saw this documentary where this woman was actually going from, I can't remember if she was going from New Zealand to Australia or the vice versa.
Right.
But she kayaked between the two.
Really?
It was just, and I was like, I've got to do that.
Oh, those people are boat nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, they're absolutely.
I would have done it. I was actually working my way up to learning how to do sea kayaking, because I was used to flat water, and I was trying to work my way into ocean kayaking.
That's where all of our people that were carpenters that kind of came from being boat carpenters. Or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I was living in Panama City Beach, Florida for a while, and I met a few boat makers that made everything out of wood.
Yeah.
And they were just amazing people that just carved it out of one piece of wood.
I know. Just
made
weird.
It look really pretty, and I'm like, I've got to figure out how to buy one of these.
You get to Hollywood and you got guys that can make a ball out of a sheet of plywood, right?
Or a police seal out of a chicken.
Yeah, or a police seal out of a chicken.
We're going back.
Yeah, we're going back. Okay, now we're back. And we're back.
We're not really back to Buckaroo Bonzai.
We've been around the world.
Were there any chickens in Buckaroo
Bonzai? I don't think so.
Oh, no. If there were,
maybe a rubber chicken or two.
Probably.
So what did we think of
He looked like a chicken, actually.
Yeah, he did.
The evil Hanoi.
All of them. The aliens look like chickens.
So there was one actor that I didn't know who he was, but I've realized that was actually has a long life in film industry, is Robert Ito.
Yeah,
I guess I just never knew his name.
Yeah.
But
it's...
So I was having fun.
This guy.
Yeah, oops. Yeah, I was having fun looking at his profile. And
yeah. He's been around forever.
Yeah, but he's actually still working, I think, if he's still alive, right? Oh, no.
He
died, I think. No. But yeah, he worked all the way through 2010, it looks like.
I like that. You look at it and you go, oh, he goes to 2010. That's it. Okay, sorry.
Dead.
Well, he's dead.
It's like I have family members that will tell me, hey, you remember your teacher in 6th grade?
Yeah, he's dead.
My dad is the king of that. Like I say, hey, you remember Mr. Simpson? Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
But yeah, anyway.
So did you want to rate this thing, or you just want to keep wandering around? I mean, not that it isn't
I like
fun.
wandering. See,
no, it was
obviously.
You know what? We went far afield.
I was trying to make this episode much like the movie we're reviewing.
Yes, and I
think we succeeded.
Yeah, we did. I think
we went everywhere.
Everywhere.
I actually would rate this pretty darn high, and I want the sequel too. Actually,
well, I you know what? I'm going to put this up at a 4.2.
Where's J.J. Abrams with our sequel?
Really,
he can pull it off.
Of all the things that they've made sequels of, and they haven't made a sequel,
but not as a producer. He needs to direct it.
Yes.
I feel like J.J. Abrams belongs in the director's chair, not the producer.
Yeah, and I think he belongs to us too.
Yes, he belongs to all of us.
Yes. What do you rate it as?
I'm actually going to go a little higher.
You're going to go higher than 4.2?
Yeah. 4.4. Because
Well, then
I'm almost like a 4.5.
Then I'm going to
like,
go 4.5. I'm going to go
right in
if you're
there.
going to be 4.4, I'm going to go 4. I negate that last thing. 4.5.
But then I was mad at myself because I've only seen this once before this time.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to watch it again. So I'm
I literally see this film all the time.
It's a good one.
All the time. So, yeah, there we go. I think that we're done.
Yes.
What do you think?
Oh, wait. Did you hear that noise?
What's that noise?
Somebody just followed us. I heard it. A little click.
Subscribe.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.